gorgeous March 3rd, 2021, Wednesday. We're in Warwick, New Jersey on the New Jersey Transit Mainline, and you're looking at WC Tower. This tower was built in 1886 and placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1987. It's a relic of the Erie Railroad days. When it was in operation on the Erie-Lackawanna Railroad, it was a manned interlocking tower, the first two tricks from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Then it was placed on automatic operation overnight. Approaching at 11:17 is train 1166 from Suffern to Hoboken with Comet 5 cars, a solid set. Looks like he's got an F40 in the rear. On the north end of the station platform here at Warwick stands over 3 tracks. The third track ends here, and it's a 2-track main the rest of the way up to Suffern. I was here back in September 1st, 1970 on a glorious Tuesday watching Erie-Lackawanna passenger and freight trains here. It's deja vu all over again, but there have been a lot of changes. I believe that was a train that terminated in Ridgewood. He's dead heading to Suffern most likely with a Metro North painted GP40 FH2. Should have train 1151 from Hoboken to Suffern coming shortly. And this is the old Warwick Station. It was built by the Erie Railroad in 1886 and is on the National Register of Historic Places since 1984. Well, the last time I stood on this platform was in the early 70s, back in Erie-Lackawanna days. And that residential complex was certainly not there then. Here comes train 1151, Hoboken to Suffern at 11:28 a.m. Still quite a bit of snow on the ground here. On Long Island where I live, it's virtually all gone. They've been hammered by snowstorms throughout the early part of February. And there's the train number, 1151 for Suffern, with these Bombardier double-deckers and a PL42AC. The troublesome PL42ACs. They're going to be retired and replaced by new ALP45 DPs. Off to Suffern. His next stop is Allendale. And trackside here at Warwick is a cute little eating establishment. And we got a westbound Norfolk Southern job coming. Light engines, 2 of them, at 11:38. GP38s, 5614 and 5610. Heading back up to Suffern. And you can hear those NS engines blowing for the grade crossing just north of here at Chestnut Street. Here's the front of that whistle stop establishment, the Warwick Whistle Stop. Breakfast, lunch, and ice cream. Nicely adorned in a railroad motif. And this old train depot is now the Warwick Museum of Local History. Nicely restored wooden depot. An Erie Lackawanna Railroad manhole cover. That'd be a nice collector's item in my living room. 12:10, here comes train 1114 from Suffern to Hoboken. I can hear the horn of 1168 approaching. He originates here. Heads for Hoboken at 12:20. And here he comes. Looks like he's got no business. These are the Bombardier double-decker cars. New Jersey Transit, Mark, and AMT of Montreal operate these cars in commuter service. Here comes 1109 rounding the curve with an F40. I'm on the north end of the platform on the Hoboken-bound side. Where I'm standing is where the fourth track was removed. That was the Eastwood passenger track. The track on the right is the Eastwood freight track. Then you had the Westwood freight track and the Westwood passenger track. That signal bridge was not here. It was actually a mast with two sets of vertical signals, color light signals. 3 vertical color light signals. Comes train 1153 from Hoboken to Suffern. 12:30. He's got one of the cats, F40 PH-2 cats. One of two F40 PH-2 cats operating on the railroad. And 120 coming in is train 1116 from Suffern, Hoboken. At least I think it is. Here comes train 62 from Port Jervis to Hoboken. Here comes 47 from Hoboken to Port Jervis at 128 with another PL42 AC. Here we have a nice view of WC Tower. Nice historic relic here in Warwick. Right at the end where the 3 tracks come down to 2. And 1:38 p.m. here's train 1111 departing for Suffern. He's off to Suffern with a Metro North F40-3C, the friendly engineer. Hear him blowing for the crossing at Chestnut Street around the curve. Nice stuff. We're now on Wyckoff Avenue overpass, east of the Warwick Station. You're looking at Collins Curve, looking towards Hoboken. It's had many names: Collins Curve, Malinowski Curve, and more contemporarily, Holden's Curve, named after a young local rail fan. .216, that was train 1118 from Suffern to Hoboken with F40 PH-2 Cat 4120 shoving around Collins Curve. Next stop, Hohokus. Well, we're here with Mr. 4909 on the bridge east of Warwick, waiting for his namesake locomotive, yes, 4909, on train 1157 for Suffern. Here he comes at 228. 172 suffering a Hoboken at 232. Here comes train 1213 heading for Warwick. That's his last stop. He's got a PL42A CDM on the point. And that concludes our interlude at Collins Curve. Great spot. 3:15, here comes train 49 from Middletown with French onion soup spreading on the Man, you put too much salt in that soup. That's okay. Once in a while I can handle it. And 3:18, we have some equipment coming out of Warwick Yard with double deckers. Came out of the yard, but we still haven't seen 64 from Port Jervis to Hoboken, which is due around now.
64 is going to go middle. Yeah,
I've just been advised he's going to be using the middle track.
Probably,
so.
Most likely. No, he did.
Here comes 64 from Port Jervis to Hoboken. A little late. 325 arriving Warwick is train 1159 from Hoboken to Suffern. It's got a GP 40-2B 4217. GP 40-2B that ran for a while on the Atlantic City service. Here comes 1174 from Suffern to Hoboken at 328. And another F40 PH-3C. I've seen tons of them today. Joey walking down the platform admiring this General Motors behemoth. And from here we're going to move up the line up towards Ramsey, stop at a couple of places. And 340, that was train 1113 for Suffern by the Chestnut Street crossing just north of Warwick Station. Alright, Chestnut Street gates going down. 419, this is train 1120 from Suffern to Hoboken via the main line. The high numbered 1100s go via the Bergen County. Them Jeeps. Next up at 428 is train 66. This is an express. Comes from Middletown, New York to Hoboken. PL42AC on the rear. It's been a gorgeous day here today. It's about 51 degrees right now. And the gates are going down at 4:39 for train 51, the first of the Port Jervis rush hour fleet. First stop is Suffern. F40 PH-3C4911 with a nice horn. Right away at 440 we have 1178 from Suffern to Hoboken. Double-decker equipment. And he's rounding the curve coming into Warwick Station. Yeah, 1122 is coming in from Suffern to Hoboken. We're at Ramsey now. It's at 504. We got New Jersey rail fanning. We got Nick here, and we got Joey here. Hey guys. Nick would have been upstate today, but he's here instead. Shoved by one of those troublesome PL42ACs. They're not long for this world, I'm told. The only thing I like about them are the EMD prime movers. And the engineer was a Met fan. And the gates are going down on Main Street in Ramsey for train 1117. Right from Hoboken to Suffern. He stops here. Main Street, Ramsey. Beautiful downtown Ramsey. This Brady's Restaurant is an upper level outdoor dining area, which is great for rail fanning. I just wonder what these guys have in store for the summer coming up. This used to be an old freight house. And 5:22 p.m. here comes train 53, Hoboken to Port Jervis. They all blow by this town. And that train was powered by sort of a special engine, Metro North GP40 FH2 4904. That locomotive should have a plaque on it, a picture of French onion soup. The nickname French onion soup was born with the engineer Ben that was running that train back on October 9th, 2020. And approaching at 5:34 is train X04, a deadhead from Middletown to Hoboken, with French onion soup piloting the train. Sacre bleu. He's going to paint a Renoir with the horn. Ben, you've got a masterful touch with the paintbrush on canvas. Oh boy. 5:38, here comes train 1165, Hoboken to Suffern. Stopping here at Ramsey with another F40. No shortage of them on this line today. And we're now just north of Ramsey at the Gertsen Plaza crossing. And train 55 is coming en route from Hoboken to Port Jervis. $5:50 p.m. sunset. Jeep, he was flying. 5:54, this train 1124, Suffern Hoboken, approaching the Gertsen Plaza crossing, just after sunset. .09, we've got a Suffern-bound train. Train 1167. Notice the signal showing high green on both tracks. 57 for Port Jervis will probably be running on the near track. And the signal is lighting up. 6:20 for train 57, Hoboken Port Jervis Express. comes train 1180, suffering to Hoboken at 6:19. Approaching is train 1169 for Suffern at 6:34. Sounds like a PL. No, this is an ALP 45DP, the first one I've seen on this line today. Gonna creep up to the crossing and knock the gates down. Nice unrestricted horn on him. .652, gates are going down for train 59. Port Jervis hotshot. First stop is Harriman after Secaucus. We got train 61, another Port Jervis train. Port Jervis trains are the most sought after trains here. They fly through here and they almost always have the older power. 7:32 p.m. we have our next Port Jervis Express, train 63. It's 11:25 for Suffern departing at 7:53 with a nice. Tell you, some of those DP horns are loud and sweet sounding. Nice Doppler effect there, listen. For those of you who wonder what a Doppler effect is, that's sound waves being displaced. Sound waves travel sort of like a chord on a guitar. The less that the chord vibrates, the lower the sound. The more that it vibrates, the higher the sound. With movement, the sound waves are spread out, and you hear a lower sound blending in with a higher pitch sound. It's all based on movement. That causes that differentiation in the sound, the tone of the horn. Well, we got Dean and Lance setting up for X112. It's a deadhead move to Hoboken. Engineer went by here on a train that was a local stopping here on the way to Suffern. Usually a friendly engineer, blows a few extra toots. See what he does. Engineer gets to Hoboken, he'll be taking a train out towards Lake Hopatcong, out that way. Here's 11:75 arriving at 8:15 bound for Suffern. Supposedly this is a GP40 FH2 with a bronze bell. Gates go up when the train is in the station until he creeps up to the crossing when he leaves. Swansea. Got an approach signal as the gates go down at 8:20. This could be 65 for Port Jervis. Yeah, that's the last through rush hour train to Port Jervis. Scratch that. That wasn't 65. It's a little too early for that. He should be by here in the next 8 to 10 minutes. Some kind of a deadhead move. Time is 8:31. This is train 65 for Port Jervis. Should have an F40 PH-3C. Now the $64 million question is, will H70 come? Norfolk Southern. Runs between Croxton and Campbell Hall. And arriving at 8:46 is train 1127 for Hoboken. Hanging in there a little while longer to see if NSH70 comes through.